Hey, family and friends. Today I need to clean off my back patio here. In the last video, I talked about, or I said the news that I'm moving. So, in this video, I have to break down the green stalk and clear off my table and everything, and just kind of make that area nice and neat so that when I talk to the realtor and people come like show the house, when I put the house on the market, stuff like that, that it'll be nice. So first off, I had to dump these avocados that I planted, and I'm very surprised as I'm dumping them. I did actually find that they were starting to sprout roots. And I was like, oh my goodness, I had no idea that these things were sprouting roots, these avocados. So I just couldn't believe it. I just could not believe it because I had no idea. Um, I did end up planting them somewhere around the yard. Shh, don't tell nobody, because I don't know if I'm supposed to do that. But I did end up planting them somewhere, and hopefully they continue to sprout. I don't know. I really don't know. So I had like some peach seeds over there. The peaches didn't do anything. That was just an experiment that did not. That experiment did not end well at all. It was a. They were non-starters basically, non-starters. But the avocados, I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. And I had literally just planted them maybe like a couple weeks, maybe about no, it was more than a couple of weeks, maybe about a month. They've been out there, so it actually took them a while to actually sprout, which made me feel like they wasn't doing anything because I didn't see anything coming out the top or anything like that. But nevertheless, I really do hope that they survive. So I do have pineapple over there behind me as well that I need to tend to, and my bug getting plant um, behind on that table as well. So the soil that I dumped into this pot was super hard and dry, which is probably why those plants didn't make it. Uh, there was a spider web on my green stalk that I am like, ew, spiders give me the willies. That's one thing I'm not a fan of is spiders. And this one had a nice looking web. I wish I would have turned the camera around or got a good picture of it so you could see it. Yeah, got the willies digging with those spiders. But nothing in that green stalk is alive. That soil is like bone dry, like dry as can be. That that soil is. So as I'm taking this thing apart, it was I was debating on what I'm gonna do with the dirt because I don't want it to go to waste, but I can't carry it with me either. My turmeric plant also didn't do much at all either. I thought it was gonna do something. I think the way I did the vermiculite and the pure light, I think the way I tried to mix that wasn't really how you were supposed to do, or tried to like add it to the plant after the fact. I should have mixed it in with the soil first and then planted it and all that stuff. So again, another lesson learned. So many lessons learned from this patio back here. But the dirt, I think, is still good. So I did end up finding a purpose for that soil. So back here, I still have my uh, Brussels sprouts, and you'll see in a little bit later how I'm very surprised that they actually started growing a little bit more. I went inside to get some water from my dehumidifier because that's how I water these plants, to save money and to like get all the moisture out of my house because I live in Florida right now and it is very humid inside and out. And I use the water just to like soften up the soil because again it's so dry. It's very dry. So I use that water for that. The other plant I have out here is my sweet potato plant that surprisingly it started growing in my garage, and I just put it back here because the leaves looked like they needed a little bit of sun because they were very pale. And I was just really impressed with how well it started doing. So just very impressed. The other plant that I have out here is I have turmeric and I had ginger. Again, ginger was a non-starter, I believe, as well. So I thought for a minute it was going to do something because, it kind of shot up and the leaves were green and it was getting big. But after a few weeks, it didn't do anything. So, like, I didn't see anything, like any new growth. So, again, another lesson learned. Maybe I didn't use the right soil. Maybe I didn't plant it deep enough. Maybe I didn't plant it at the right time. Again, a lot of lessons learned from this patio garden that I'm going to be taking with me into the next chapter of my gardening life, or gardening experiences. I would say, I would say, the pineapple back there seems to be doing pretty well, though. I'm really impressed. I don't see any like dryness. I don't see like the plant like dying off. In fact, it kind of looked like it may have been. It kind of looked like it may have been like growing new leaves out the top, but I still don't see like that one little thing that like says, "Hey, you got a pineapple coming." And it's been back there for months. That pineapple top has been back there for at least 2 months and nothing. So I watered the rest of the plants with the water from the dehumidifier just to give them a little water because they looked a little thirsty. And I forget the other plant that I have growing on the side over here, but it was thriving too. There was like 3 or 4 plants that I had left after I took down the green stalk, and that was one of them. So I had the Brussels sprouts, the sweet potatoes, the pineapple, and then there was something else. I cannot think of it right now. I may remember when we get towards the end of this. So I go back inside the house to just take that back, and so it can start generating more water. It usually, for anybody interested in a dehumidifier to use for that water for additional purposes, for that dehumidifier, and I'll see if I can find a link for it. But it takes about, depending upon the time of the year, in the summertime, it takes just one with a night, and that thing is full. In the wintertime, it may take about 2 to 3 days running it before it actually gets full of water, and it beeps and all that stuff, so you know that it's full. And I also use that water to water my arrow garden plants as well. So I ended up, this is the side of my house, I ended up bringing all that potting soil from the GREENSTALK and just putting it around the shrubs here of my house. Putting around the shrubs of my house because I kind of felt like I didn't want it to go to waste, and yet I don't know where to put it. My grass or yard, I should say, down here is typically sand and some topsoil. That's pretty much what those things are probably buried in. So it's not going to hurt to put this potting mix around them. Looking at them today, I would say it actually probably helped because I did end up going back and putting some mulch on them as well. And this whole side of my house just has these shrubs. I don't know the names of these shrubs. They were here when I bought the house. Have no clue what the names of these shrubs are. I just know I put a whole bunch of dirt around them. And then, funny enough, a couple days after I had did this and after I had laid the mulch, it rained. So it was like perfect timing for me to do this, to lay this dirt down, to get the mulch down. I'm not sure if I planned it that way or if it just happened that way. It probably just happened that way because I haven't watched the news like all year when it comes to the weather. But I ended up doing the whole thing, and I got I got dirt in my shoe. So of course I'm not dressed for this occasion here at all. I got on flip flops, no gloves, no nothing. So it really shows just how much of an amateur gardener I really am. But we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Eventually, I will have all the equipment. I will have all the tools, all the skill set I'm still learning, so bear with me. I will get better at this and have a whole lot more experience under my belt to be able to share things that I have learned. But to be able to do this is still really cool, I think. So I just dumped all this dirt because at a certain time I just kind of got tired of trying to making it nice and neat, especially since it kind of, some of it kind of washed away or sunk after it rained. So that was good. I took the hose after I had laid all of the plants that I had emptied out, and I said, you know what, let me just give it a nice little rinse with this water hose because I am going to put that green stalk back into the box that it came in. Yes, I saved that box and I put all of the pieces back in that one box. It seemed a lot less lighter than when I had it before. Um, I'm not sure, but it wasn't as heavy as I put it back. And you see all the dirt that I laid down. And again, this is like the whole side of my house here. So I put all that soil. So it did not go to waste. I could not do that and feel good about it. So I did that. And this is where I planted those two avocado seeds that grew. They grew roots, and I planted something over here as well. I forget what I planted over there, but that's it. Thanks for watching.